So today, our content's going to be about how you can upsell, right? To drive your customer productivity, right? Because at the end of the day, the customers are the important thing. That's what we care about. And we also care about ourselves. We want to make bigger profits. So upselling and customer productivity. So today's agenda, we're going to do a little introduction, just a little, I like to do a little saying that I think is cute. We're going to talk about positioning and listening for the upsell. I'm going to tell you about the tools and products that you have available at RingLogix, right? So these are going to be the third-party products, not the things that you get when you come in and sign an agreement, like the general basic, the PBX and everything. So these are in addition to that. And then we're going to talk about how you get them provisioned and how we support them. And then if you guys have questions, I've unmuted everybody. So if you've been here before, which I think a lot of you have, you know me, I don't really care if you interrupt me. It doesn't really throw me off. But feel free to use the chat too if you'd like. Hey, Rocco. And that's kind of what we're going to go over today. All right. So my introduction is stop selling and start helping. I've been in sales for a really long time, and in different avenues of my life, I spent the majority of it in the wireless industry. And I figured out early on, especially when it came to like add-ons, and in my sales life with wireless, add-ons were things like insurance, phone cases, wireless headsets, things like that. When I positioned them as a sale, right, I often got turned down. When I started asking questions, that kind of had nothing to do with products, but was just more like day-to-day life questions, like, oh, well, I'm just chatting it up with them, like, well, what do you do for work? Oh, I do this. Or I could then position my products or services that I wanted to sell and make them relatable to things like that might happen in their day-to-day life or in their job. So, if you stop selling and start helping somebody, I feel like you can uncover items that would make their life easier, but they also are going to make you money and let you hit your goals. So I want to talk about positioning and listening, right? And you guys might have seen some of this before. So, probably last year, Gabriella and I wanted to do a webinar on like what questions we should be asking. And I pulled some of those questions that are relatable to today's content. So, when you are working with a prospect or even an existing customer, right? It's really imperative to find out what they do in their day-to-day activities, because we naturally just think certain things come with because we're so used to using them. So there's a lot of assumption involved, especially when you're working with like a phone system. There are CRMs now. There's software applications that are just embedded into our day-to-day lives that we sometimes just forget about. So the next couple slides, we're going to talk about some of those questions. And then, the listening part is going to come into play. I'm going to teach you a little trick that I like to use a lot when I'm selling, especially like direct to customer. So this is a huge question. What are your biggest priorities this year in terms of communication and collaboration tools? So what you're attempting to do with this question is align solutions in your tech stack with your customers' goals. Okay. So that's really, a simple question, but you're getting them to talk about like how they want, their communication and their tools to work for them. Now, this is very blunt and to the point. Are you currently using a CRM? If so, which one is it? The reason I tossed it in there is it's kind of the forgotten question. But knowing if their CRM, right, integrates into the phone system is huge when you're doing a sales opportunity. Because we obviously, I wouldn't bring this up if we didn't have a solution that matched with this question. But, knowing what you're getting yourself into is huge. Knowing if you can incorporate it into the phone system is even bigger. Do you require your VoIP system to integrate with your CRM? Sometimes people have CRM integrations, they use CRMs that they don't even realize integrate into their phone system, and that could make their life easier, right? I talk to a lot of people every day, even like you guys as partners use CRMs that you don't have integrated into your phone system that could make your life easier, right? So this is a really important question to ask. Are you currently handling click to dial functionality like within your CRM? Because that is going to help tailor a solution into their existing workflows, right? So we're just trying to get down to the nitty-gritty on things that would make your customer's life easier, right? So we're helping, not selling. Asking about Teams, right? Pretty much everybody, I won't say everybody because I'm sure there's people that don't use Teams, but Teams is a huge tool. And knowing that you can, and like Carl, that's why I was teasing you, Carl's becoming a resident teammate expert. On this call, we've walked through a Teams integration. But and Teams can be scary because it deals with Microsoft, and Microsoft is scary. But you're going to start getting customers that want to use Teams along with their phone system, like having their Teams phone ring. Because internally, a lot of organizations are communicating via Teams. So why wouldn't you have it work from the outside as well? Now, these questions, I did, like I said earlier, we plucked them out of this list. I linked it in the presentation that Gabrielle is going to send you. So if you didn't make it to the prior webinar where we went over this in more detail, I did want to include this in the slide deck for you. So you have some questions for MSPs to uncover customer needs. They go beyond the scope of what we just talked about in this guide, but I just wanted to give you a few that were relevant to today's topic. So do we have any questions so far? Is anybody interested in any questions or anything? No? Silence is golden. All right. Now, products and tools, right? So what do you have at your disposal? Now, before I get into the different products and tools that you have, I want to preface this by saying all of these tools are available to you as our partners directly, right? I want you to understand though that what we did at RingLogix as an organization is we said, hey, we're going to go out into the world and we're going to find tools that align with NetSapiens for our partners to use. We're going to take on the minimum commitments for our partners for these products because they all require like a minimum, minimum use type thing. Just like, we have minimum commitments. But, and we took that on so that you could use it a la carte as needed and not have to stress about selling this. So just know if you're not currently utilizing some of these tools, you're missing out because normally if you went up and signed up with them directly, you'd have to, commit to selling so much per month. Here you don't. You can use it whenever you want. But these solutions are designed to enhance user satisfaction, engagement, and loyalty, right? So first one up is Zima. Now, if you haven't heard of Zima, Zima, not the fun drink that, everybody used to drink in the 90s, but Zima is a service. So there's no software to download or install. But what Zima is I like to call it customer experience, but you probably know it better as a robust contact center application. So these are some of the, more technical facts about Zima. But if you've never checked out the product, let me know. Reach out to me directly. I will hook you up with the Zima Cam. We've done several webinars with them. They're on our YouTube channel. But Zima is going to allow you to compete with companies like Five9, Genesis, Nice and Contact, and at a really reasonable price. We give it to you wholesale, and then you turn around and sell it resale. So I know a couple of you on this call have had some Zima demos directly. If you're interested in seeing the product, they're always happy to talk about it, and they fully support their product end to end, right? Meaning they help you pre-sales with demos. Once you get an agreement or a customer on the hook, it's quoted. Once it's signed, they have a project management meeting, and they will handle all post-sales support for you. All right. So you just have to, and that doesn't even have to come through like us directly on the post-sales support. You can go to Zima, or if you even want to send your customer directly to Zima, you can do that. So this is customer experience contact center. It's really cool because it's per user. So a lot of the Five9s, and I think it's Nice and Contact, but don't quote me on that. I don't know it as well, their product. But a lot of times it's all or nothing. So all users have to use the service. With Zima, it's a la carte. I believe they only ask for a minimum of 3 users to install this. So if you haven't seen it, it's really cool. These are some of the more technical, items about Zima. But if you haven't heard of them or seen them, check them out. Newer product, and I know I've done a couple webinars, but Helios is a omni-channel integration. So some of the features of it is it integrates the VoIP with chat, email, SMS, and social media. So what I want you to think about with Helios is think about, I have a small business, maybe one owner and a couple of reps, and he's out there or she advertising, on socials. They have their phone number out there for messaging. Basically, Helios kind of puts that together in one cohesive inbox that can be managed, and there's seamless transition between those channels. It maintains context across all the interactions that are done, but it creates that one inbox. That way, a small business owner can multitask. They also have chatbots that can be added to websites to also help the small business with inquiries and things like that. And they're very easy to build, right? Very user friendly. So I'm going to talk in a little bit about how we get these provisioned and ordered, but I will give you like a sneak peek. When we first started talking with Helios, we were going to have our partners sign up for it directly with RingLogix. But based on partner feedback, partners wanted like a package that they could buy to help with setup. And they also wanted to be supported, which everybody does on the post sales. So what was decided, just due to staffing and bandwidth that we have with humans, you can actually order this through distribution, through Teledynamics specifically. They do have a package that you can sign up for if you kind of want help building it, or maybe, even it built for you for your customer. And they will be managing, Teledynamics would be managing all the post-sales support too. So if you're currently a Teledynamics customer, you can reach out to your account manager. I have some names that I'm going to give you at the end of this that you can reach out to directly. If you're not a Teledynamics customer, you can have them create you an account, but Helios will be sold through Teledynamics through distribution. But cool function that you can have in your back pocket. And if you haven't seen it, they're always happy to give you a demo as well. And it's on YouTube. I think that's on YouTube too, right, Gabriella? I think so. Our Helios webinar. Maybe.
Yep.
Okay.
It is for sure.
Cool. Teammate, right? So Teammate is a gateway that provides hosted PBX vendors like ourselves, like RingLogix, to integrate with Microsoft Teams. So and Teammate, I don't know if I should drop this, but Teammate's used by big national carriers as well. So you have the tool that national carriers use to connect to Teams. There's a couple different flavors of it. You're able to access direct routing. Direct routing in the team space means my customer already owns and operates a full-blown Teams PBX, but me, their MSP provider, their managed service provider, wants to get a piece of the pie. So I'm going to replace the voice plan with my own SIP trunks, right? So I can, the sexy sell is not priced, but it would be less expensive. The sexy sell is when you're sending your own trunks into full-blown Teams PBX, is that you can provide failover. Teams does not do that. So that's kind of the sexy sell. Price is the added bonus. You can do it for less money. The more popular one is the PBX connector. So that means, customer has a full, like a NetSapiens, what you guys use with RingLogix, PBX, but they want their Teams phone to ring too. They do a lot of work on Teams. PBX connector allows that to happen. It's a per user pricing, which is really cool. And so it doesn't have to be all users. It can be whomever you want. It's a little bit, it's a little tedious setup, I think, but once you start doing it, if you do it more and more, you get used to it. It's Microsoft, right? So we follow their rules. So it kind of follows the way Microsoft needs it set up, but that is available to you as well for integration. A little more on Teammates. This is just a picture that kind of demonstrates the architecture of the way PBX connector works. All right. So Microsoft Teams is kind of that connection into RingLogix. So when the phone number rings, it'll ring RingLogix. The Teammate connector will make it ring the Teams phone as well. Cool, cool. Go Integrator by Nava. We call it, this product has so many names. I usually call it Nava for short. But this is the what you can integrate CRM applications with. So probably one of the questions asked in my inbox through email, I'm always getting, hey, Jamie, do you guys connect with HubSpot? Hey, Jamie, do you guys connect with this service? So Nava is the integrator. They have over 250 integrations into NetSapiens with some of the most popular CRMs. There's a full catalog that you can search through that's linked in our knowledge base. If you go to our hosted PBX articles in the knowledge base, it's actually, it's got its own subset. It's called, Nava integration. And article number 6 is their catalog. So you can search through all the available CRM applications. And they all, kind of do different things depending on the application. But it's, it's full, it has everything that it connects to in there. The more popular integrations have videos that you can watch that shows you. And we are offering a promo. I believe that's still going on, right, Gabriella, for Q4. So yes. If you're watching this video after Q4 2025, don't listen to me, but we are offering a promo where you can try this out for yourself. And even if you have we're giving you, I think it's like up to 25 users, totally free. So if you haven't taken advantage of that yet, you definitely should. And I'm going to give you some direction on how you would order Nava. This is a little screenshot of what the catalog search looks like. So if you know the name of the specific application that you're looking for, you'll type it in and hit go. Now, took this screenshot because I think one other cool thing is if you're looking to work in certain verticals for your selling, they call it markets, but you can also search by vertical and find CRM applications that are in that vertical. So if you're kind of like reverse engineering it, so maybe you're working with a customer and they don't really know what CRM but they want to start looking, you might be able to give them some advice by reverse engineering this and coming in here, searching, seeing what CRM, you'd want to probably check it out for them if you're consulting in that way, but you could kind of give them an idea of what's being used in the market, for them. Cool. So UC Connect. UC Connect is a generic branded application. It comes from a company called LoopDB. We bought it from Loop, and we kind of just branded it UC Connect, just so it didn't say RingLogix. UC Connect is a browser-based application. So the difference between Nava and UC Connect is that Nava is downloaded onto your desktop, and you get a tray with the dialer and all the cool, fun stuff. UC Connect is browser-based, so it's through Chrome, and it streamlines the communication with click to call. You still get CRM pops and seamless integration. The difference though is Nava has more. They've been around a lot longer. They have 250 integrations. There's a few dozen in UC Connect, but if you're just looking as maybe like a starter, and they just kind of want click to dial, things like that, it's a really cool, simple browser application. We actually give this to our partners completely free. So if you ever, need instruction on UC Connect, I believe it's in the knowledge base. I'll have to double check. I think it is. But there's some instruction in there on how to download it. Super cool. If you haven't tried it out, go play around with it. It's totally free, no charge. So we want to look at selling to the customer stack, right? So finding out, that's what all of this discussion is about, selling to their tech stack to make their life easier, therefore helping them, which makes it seem like it's not as salesy. So how do we, how does all this help you guys? How does it help increase and retain sales? Well, at the end of the day, we always look at value versus churn, right? When you provide a full solution to your customers' pain points, it makes them a stickier customer. They like you. You've solved their problems, right? Customer longevity equals lasting monthly reoccurring revenue for you, right? It can also gain you the ability to, get referrals. A lot of times when you make a customer really, really happy, you can always say to them after that, hey, would you mind writing a referral for me? Or could you go put like a good Google review on my website? We as humans, I mean, I'm notorious for it. And I try to be very equal, right? But I am I don't know what they call me in Google, but I'm like one of the head honchos as far as reviewing stuff. And I try to make it, I review bad things, and but I also give really good reviews to people that have, done good for me. I try to be equal with it. I know a lot of times we only do reviews when we're mad. I try to even it out, but referrals come from reviews, and you can even say, could you write me a referral? But that's going to get you more customers, and that helps you organically grow without spending a dime on marketing, right? At the end of the day. So provisioning and support. I made you guys a cool document. I'm going to actually go through it. I'm going to share a different screen, but if you click here, I noticed that we have all these products, and you have to search for them in the knowledge base. You don't have one cohesive place you can find all of them in one shot. So what I worked on making you, and I will share this, and you'll get a copy of this. Oh, I hit the wrong button, but that's okay. I'm going to share this. I made you a product features and benefits kind of PowerPoint, right? And I left it, I know Gabriella's going to tell me it's kind of ugly, right? Because she's our marketing gal. But I left it kind of non-branded for you. So this will be adjustable. But what's in here is I did a quick comparison of the top 4 features here. So if you're thinking like, I don't remember what she said does what, right? So Zima, advanced call reporting and analytics. You gain deep insight into call center activity at the end of the day in a nutshell. Helios, it's omni-channel in a box, inbox across voice, email, chat, and social. Meet customers on the channel of their choice. Teammate, integration with Microsoft Team and phone systems. And then Nava, CRM screen popping on incoming calls, right? So you have like quick hitter on what's the difference between all of these different products. What's next is I did a deeper dive. So each product are going to have features and benefits for you. And then I've given you some qualifying questions, okay? Pricing, right? For Zima, like it's ICB, right? It's individual case basis. Discovery is done with the customer and a quote's issued to you. You take that quote and mark it up, and it's going to be based on relevant products that were in your pre-sales call. You're going to work with a CAM in your area. And then ordering, you're going to, complete it via quote. We'll set up a project management meeting with Zima once it's done, and they kind of take over from there. So this will kind of have all the details on that for you. Helios, right? Same deal. You have features and benefits, and then qualifying questions, right? So, what are you listening for that would qualify, a customer that's going to want Helios? Pricing, right, is ICB through teledynamics, like I said earlier. I kind of dropped a hint on that. Ordering through teledynamics, you can reach out to Kevin Collier. He'll get you set up. Here's his phone number and his email. So you kind of have this all in one shot. Nava, right? So features and benefits, once again. And then qualifying, what are you listening for, like for qualifying? And you have those questions from earlier too. Pricing is per user. You have a couple different seats with Nava. It will tell you in the catalog when you search what you're looking for. It'll tell you what license it is in the catalog. So you can kind of come back here and match it up. To order Nava, you're going to create a ticket with our support team. In that ticket, we need the domain you want it activated on, the users that need the application. I'd like to usually know which CRM you're hooking it up to, and then of course the license type that you would need. Once you do that, our support team provisions it, sends you a code to download the software into the desktop, and then you're off to the races from there, okay? And they give you some instruction. And then teammate, of course, right? So features and benefits for you. And then qualifying questions and pricing per user and how to order it. So for teammate, you're going to create a ticket with RingLogix. We're going to add you to our teammate portal as an admin. Once you're in there, you'll add yourself as a reseller. There's some very specific instructions with this in the knowledge base article. So you should definitely check it out if you're interested in teammate. Then you have the ability to add an enterprise. In Microsoft, the teammate enterprise is your customer. And when you add the customer, the email address used must be the global administrator email address of your customer. So that is all detailed in the knowledge base, but this is just a quick hitter. So essentially, if you'd like to use this to work with customers, just take out the second page of each of this, like edit it and make yourself like a little usable tool with customers. And you can take out like the pricing and qualifying questions. That's why I kept it on separate pages, so you could easily remove those if you wanted to use this, just as a sales tool, or you want to use it with your team, but you really don't want them to know like what you pay for it or something. If you want to use it as a sales guide, I just wanted to make it so that it was non-branded and you could work with this to kind of help you keep everything straight, since it's not really in one cohesive page anywhere. Any questions? Do we like it? Do we hate it?
We like it.
We like it. All right. Thanks, Carl. I appreciate you boosting my ego a little bit today. All right. So let's go back to our presentation. Sorry, my screen flopping isn't very solid today. There we go. All right. So you'll get this along with your presentation. I gave Gabriella the separate presentation to send you guys directly if you wanted it to, but it is linked right here in the big click here section. Resources, I didn't want to link things. I just wanted to talk about YouTube. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, pretty much everything we record is on our YouTube channel nowadays. And of course, you always have our knowledge base to check out. If there's ever anything you guys would like me to do a webinar or a Tech Tuesday on, please feel free to send me some, inspiration or things you'd like to learn about. I know on my last Tech Tuesday, I got a lot of inquiries about like how to read zip flow and some advanced phone training. So I think that's going to be up soon in the upcoming Tech Tuesdays. I know the holidays are coming up, so it gets harder, but sign up. If you sign up but you don't show up, you still get all of the content. So, look forward to that coming soon. So I know I have some of my faves on here. Can you guys keep a secret? Yeah, I know. Yeah, Al said he can keep a secret. Well, guess what? I can't. I'm not really good at keeping secrets. Everybody knows that. I wanted to take today to let you know, we've been working longer than we wanted to on UC Plus soft phone. So we did a beta trial a few months back. We had some hiccups as we were trying to get this into the marketplace. Just so you know what we kind of did. When we originally created this app or had this app created, we tried to make sure it was completely white labeled for you, no RingLogix. So we gave it the name UC Plus, but we tried to submit it under RingLogix as our corporation, which we are, but they basically told us no. So this has its own, we have our own shell company now that we have to file taxes under and everything, just to give you a soft phone that you can have customers download that they can't find RingLogix. So the company's called Apps to Go. And but UC Plus is our new soft phone. It's available in the Google Play Store and the Apple Play Store, and I linked it here, and you have a full set of knowledge base articles. Now, this is a soft phone that will be available for you to give to your customers. I will tell you there's most likely going to be a cost associated with using this. However, until we figure that out, I still want you guys to get in there and mess around and play with it. So we're offering it free. We will send out an addendum to your agreement when we figure out what the cost will be for it. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. You can also look forward to a web phone to most likely complement this. But I've been testing it for a pretty long time. It's super cool. It has some really nice features that Snap Mobile doesn't have that you guys have been asking for. Probably my favorite feature is it has a do not disturb button, which Snap Mobile, as you guys probably know, like doesn't have. But it is available. Feel free to check out the knowledge base articles. The engineering team wrote them with screenshots. So if you're looking for an alternative application to offer your customers, here you go. But go check it out. Go try it out. It's live in production. So this is not the beta version. You'll use the same credentials. You would log into the portal or the Snap Mobile. So there's no more host ID like Snap Mobile. As you can see, it would just be like your extension app, whatever you did, and then your same password. So please go check it out. And the partners who have checked it out, we've gotten really great feedback. So, go check it out. Let me know what you think. And we'll send out an addendum to the agreement once we get pricing together for it. Cool. Any questions? It's that time. No, let me look at the chat here. Lee, you happy about that? Good. Cool. And guys, yeah, if you're too shy to ask questions or if you have an opportunity that you think you could use any of these third-party products and you're confused still, even after this, please feel free to hit me up. We'll talk about it and figure out like what you need, which product fills the gap. But once again, like if you haven't met the Cams from Zima or the bad boys over at Helios, let me know. I'm happy to do an introduction so that you can meet them, get a demo of their products, or go check out a webinar or something like that on YouTube if you're more. Yeah, no, Al, we'll definitely send the slides and all the content for you. And, feel free to use it, adjust it however you want. So, all right, gang. Well, looks like I'm letting you off into the world a few minutes early, which didn't, that never hurts anybody. So thank you for joining me today, as always. And I appreciate you guys. And I hope you all have a really great weekend and, trick or treat.